of the City of Callaway Board of Commissioners. It is Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. It's 6 p.m. If y'all will stand with me, Commissioner Birdsall, would you do the invocation tonight, please? And Commissioner Griggs, lead us in the pledge.
Thank you, Lord, so much for the wonderful opportunities that you've given us every day, Lord. I pray that we would never take them for granted. I want to thank you, Lord, just for everything. Tonight, Lord, I pray that you would help us to have clear minds as we make business decisions and guide our city. I pray, Lord, that you would continue watching over our first responders. I pray for our city manager as he's traveling, Lord, and for the training and the conference he'll be at, that he can bring back great things for our city, Lord. Continue blessing us. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk, please do a roll call.
Commissioner Birdsall.
Here.
Commissioner Griggs.
Here.
Commissioner Pelletier.
Here.
Commissioner Ayers.
Here, ma'am.
And Mayor Henderson.
Here. Okay, I just want to say before we get started with the meeting, I don't know, I hope y'all noticed Human Being was kind enough to provide us with coffee this evening, so if you didn't get a cup on your way out if you want to, and if you enjoy the coffee, go buy a cup from them and tell them thank you for providing it for our meeting. Okay, we'll go on. I know the call for additions or deletions to the agenda. I know there is an addition we're requesting to the agenda. If City Attorney would like to address
Yeah,
that.
I can, obviously one of you guys would need to make the motion, but just got off the phone with the city manager for the last hour or so. On Cherry Street, we need to add a emergency procurement of its materials only for a water main replacement. This is, and I was clear about this was not to do with the construction project there with American Sand. It was discovered during it. There's a lot of cast iron pipe that's city water main. Cast iron, rusted, probably has caused, we talk about leaks all the time. It's probably caused leaks, independent of this. And it was kind of good timing because now everything's torn up and we can actually replace that line with the PVC. Bill can talk a little bit about, the difference of materials, but this was all discovered and it was causing water leaks. The city is going to perform the project, so it wouldn't be anything outsourced. We just need to buy the materials, but they were over his threshold of $10,000. And so instead of going out for an invitation for bid to get its PVC, but it was enough money that it needs to come to the commission as an emergency. And one of the emergencies is, to not have a, stop in services of city services. So obviously water is pretty important for the city.
How big's the pipe?
It's at least 800 linear feet. There's a couple phases, but we did get.
Let's make a motion.
I was going to say, if we do make a motion to add it on, then we'll discuss it. That's what I was trying to.
I'm sorry, to our agenda.
I'll second. I got ahead of myself.
We've got a motion and a
And then we can
second
discuss
to
it.
add that item to
Right.
the agenda. So if there's no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so that will be item number 12. Okay, are there,
I got ahead of myself.
I think that covered
Felt like I was
additions
city
and
manager.
deletions. Okay, regarding public participation, I do see some new faces in the audience, so the way we handle public participation, you can speak on each agenda item if you so choose. When I call for, public participation, raise your hand. When you're called on, come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record if you so choose, and then your 3 minutes starts to address that agenda item. When we get to the end of the meeting, if there's something you want to bring up that was not on the agenda, same process. When I call for public participation, raise your hand, come up to the microphone when you've been acknowledged, state your name and address if you want to, and then you have 3 minutes for your non-agenda item. So with that all said, we will go on to approval of the minutes. We've got the minutes of the February 10th, 2026 regular meeting. Did anybody have any comment, questions on those minutes? And if not, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve February 10th minutes.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. If there's no discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. And as Commissioner Birdsell indicated in his prayer, city manager is on his way to Orlando tonight for a city managers conference. He is the representative for this area, so it's important that he be there to represent the Panhandle. Okay, so item number 1, ordinance number 1138, small-scale comp plan amendment, 5028 and 5030 East 4th Street. And since city manager is not here, well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'll read
city
it.
attorney.
It's a first reading of ordinance number 1138, an ordinance amending the comprehensive plan of the city of Callaway, Florida, acting upon the application of Ryan and Christina Ransberg, designating for commercial future land use certain parcels of land lying within the city of Callaway, Florida, consisting of approximately 0.302 more or less acres. Said parcel is located at 5028 and 5030 East 4th Street, Callaway, Florida. Parcel ID 24480000000 and 24480100000, as more particularly described in the body of the ordinance. Amending the city's future land use map for commercial designation for the parcel, repealing ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing that this ordinance shall take effect as provided by law.
And since Mr. Cook is not here to call up Mr. Fry, you want to take this item?
Good evening. As Kevin said, this is property on 4th Street that backs up to Highway 22. It's the Lucky's Bingo property. The Ransberg own the Lucky's Bingo. They're just trying to get the properties all there that they own in line, all zoned the same, so they can put some storage in the back. Mr. Ransberg is here tonight. He is aware that this does not permit any construction at this time, that a commercial development order will be needed to do anything. This is just to get the future land use map, the first item, and next one will be for the zoning. If you have any questions, we'll do our best to answer them.
Bill, I understand that the planning board was, could not make a decision on this when it came in front of them. Is that correct? They had a tie vote?
Yes, no,
Yeah, they
Not this one?
recommended.
not this one.
Okay. Wrong one, sorry.
Yeah, because it says they recommended approval.
Okay.
So,
I'll be okay.
anybody have any questions? for
Yeah, well,
Mr.
however, his request is for 530, the 530 address. And 528, they do not own. That's owned by another party. So they cannot, as far as I know, they cannot request this for the other party. The other party has to be involved. That property, 5028, is owned by Christina Ellers. So this particular gentleman cannot, at least that's what the Bay County property appraiser says.
Okay. Let Ryan answer that.
My name is Ryan Ransberg. Christiana Eilers is my mother-in-law. She has the one track. It comes all the way down. She's in Atlanta, Georgia, because we timeshare mother-in-law, obviously. She's up there living with her son right now, and then she'll be back down in a couple months. So she never deals with anything. It's either me or her son. So that's the only reason that it's Christiana Eilers. They put it as Christiana Eilers Ransberg, but she's not a Ransberg, she's an Eilers. She has the piece, she has 5030. I think it's 5030, the one on the right, I think it's 5030.
5030 is in your name.
Okay, she has
28 is
28. They sit side by side, we use it as a drive-through, is what it is right now. And all we're trying to do is get it commercial. So if you need her here for some reason, that's why we put it in her name. We don't like hiding anything, so.
Yeah, there's no, so this happens all the time. We would need a letter of authorization.
Right.
So if you guys want, it's a first reading, but if you want to approve first reading contingent on receipt of a letter of authorization from the mother-in-law. Because, you have, people have land under contract and they'll go and pay for all the land use
Yeah,
changes.
because it's going to be the same thing.
But we do need to have a letter of authorization.
That's why I had it notarized. The paper was notarized and everything from the notary. and then she sent it back to me and everything, so we thought that would be good enough. But if you need anything else, just let me know. We'll
Well,
get it taken care of.
whatever we need, but we cannot approve something that's not in the applicant's name.
Yeah.
And she's not, and this one or the zoning, she's not part of the application.
We can, we just need to have a letter of authorization.
Okay,
They don't have,
I'm just making sure we're gonna be right on
Since
it.
this is first reading,
Yeah.
we can approve first reading contingent on,
Have no problem
and
with
then
it.
get that correct,
we
as long as we
just
have
need-
that
we
by
just
the
need
second
Like a
reading.
letter of authorization for the application.
She apparently bought all this from Strange,
Sir?
a prior owner.
But, Strange, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's who we bought it from, yes.
Right.
Josie Strange, yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Have no problem with it, just need to get the details correct.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. And you can make sure he knows exactly.
Bill,
what
we have authorization letters all the
Good,
time where,
good.
different buyers
Any
do
other,
that.
any other questions for? We good?
Good.
Okay. Okay, did anybody in the audience have any comment on this item? I don't see anybody. So I would entertain a motion on this.
And just make it contingent on receipt of an authorization letter from the other owner.
I'll motion to approve the ordinance 1138 small scale comp plan amendment for the parcels mentioned contingent upon a letter for the property the mother-in-law owns at 5028 4th Street.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Okay, not hearing any. City Clerk?
Commissioner Birdsell?
Yes.
Commissioner Griggs?
Yes.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Yes.
Commissioner Ayers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Mayor Henderson?
Yes. Now, you had that coffee, you should
I
let
know,
it.
I should be awake.
Okay, we will go on to item number 2, which is rezoning of that same property. City Attorney?
Just make sure that I think the agenda summary had 36, was really 38, I think, but it's fine. Ordinance number, again, first reading, ordinance number 1139, an ordinance rezoning from R6M residential single-family mobile homes allowed to highway commercial, certain parcels of land lying within the city of Callaway, Florida, consisting of approximately 0.302 more or less acres. Said parcel is located at 5028 and 5030 East 4th Street, Callaway, Florida. Parcel ID is 24448000000 and 24448010000. All is more particularly described in the body of the ordinance, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing that this ordinance shall take effect immediately upon passage.
Okay, Mr. Fry?
I will make sure we have an authorization letter for this one also.
Okay. Anybody have any comment or question? Because it's just rezoning on the same parcels. So did anybody in the audience have any comment on the rezoning? Not seeing anybody, we need a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 1139, the rezoning of property located at 5028 and 5030 East 4th Street contingent on the letter from the property owner of 5028.
It's 1136, I think.
No, it's
Oh, it's
39.
9, okay.
Okay, so.
Second.
Okay, so we've got a motion and a second. If there's no further
Good
discussion.
pickup.
Commissioner Griggs?
Yes.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Yes.
Commissioner Ayers?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Birdsell?
Yes.
Mayor Henderson?
Yes. Okay, we'll go on to item number 3, Resolution 26-03, update to Federal Awards Policy Manual. And I think our city clerk is going to handle this one.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and read it. Resolution 2603, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Callaway, Florida, adopting an updated federal awards policy manual, repealing all resolutions in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date.
Okay, Ms. Ashley.
Okay, so following, we just approved this policy manual back a couple of meetings ago, following an audit we did with the Department of Commerce. once we got everything finalized and sent to them, they came back and advised that our duplication of benefits policy the language wasn't as strong as they would prefer. So this updates that language closer to align with their requirements. We have sent this back to them, and they did approve this language.
Okay, so anybody have any question for city clerk? No? Okay, did anybody in the audience want to comment on the update to the federal awards policy manual? Yes, ma'am.
What prompted the audit?
I think it was just a review that.
That they did with every city that has.
Yeah, there wasn't anything that was wrong, it was just a review that they did with all the cities. So, nobody else had anything?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, come on up, Mr. Bohack. See, you hide over there, I don't see you well.
Paul Bohack, 7010 Mike Lane. The review itself was just part of the overall review process, but who's going to be responsible for ensuring compliance besides the city clerk? Will that be a responsibility of the city attorney as well as the city manager, or will it rest solely on the city clerk?
It will be between me, Eddie, our finance director, and Department of Commerce.
That answers my question. Thank you.
Thank you, city clerk. Anybody else? Okay, gentlemen, we need a motion on this item.
Motion to approve Resolution 26-03, update the Federal Awards Policy Manual.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, city clerk?
Commissioner Pelletier?
Yes.
Commissioner Ayers?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Birdsville?
Yes.
Commissioner Griggs?
Yes.
And Mayor Henderson?
Yes. Okay, we will go on to item number 4, and I believe the next 4 items are all very similar, aren't they, city clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
All the same.
Yes, all the same, so, and we need to do separate motions on all of them, city attorney,
Okay, I'm looking at it.
because it's just
It's all BDI?
4 different contracts. No,
No,
it's 4
they're-
different, so we can do separate.
Yeah.
If you want to go ahead,
It's for different amendments with BDI.
Correct.
Yeah,
Well, it's
we
4
did-
different
Yeah,
contracts.
so
There's
go
2 with
ahead.
BDI, 1 with Panhandle Engineering,
Yeah, we
and
need
1
to
with
do
Burris.
separately.
yeah,
with-
so if you want to
Yeah,
go
do
ahead and,
separately.
Yes,
Go
so
ahead,
following
Kevin.
that same review, they also pointed out that when the contracts were awarded, so this one was the lift station rehab that we've got going on, the engineering services with Baskerville Donovan, they had 2 provisions that were required that were not included in those contracts. One is the prohibition on certain telecommunication and video surveillance equipment and services. And then another was the domestic preferences for procurements. So they just asked that we amend each agreement to add those,
That's right. If
to
you
incorporate
guys
those
remember,
provisions.
after the hurricane, we would send contracts out, and then when it was FEMA projects, they said you had to do this, 2 CFR 200, the federal contract provisions. They would, the feds would provide us an exhibit. And so we had several contracts back then, 2019, 2020, that we had to come and amend and make sure we had the current federal exhibit. Well, apparently, last year, they added a couple paragraphs to that federal exhibit. So we had it, it just wasn't this year's federal exhibit, because obviously we did this 2-3 years ago, whatever. So all these are just adding to, it's updating the federal exhibit, the Exhibit A for the 2 CFR 200 stuff.
On these 4, there were, this one and the next 3, it's all the same addition to each one of those
Yeah,
contracts.
it's literally, the feds provide us the exhibit of the federal statute, or the Code of Federal, the CFR, Code of Federal Regulations. That has just been updated since we did these contracts, so they want to make sure it's current.
There is one additional amendment to the GORA's one, so the 4th one we'll go over, but I'll explain that once we get to that
Okay.
one.
So this is the first one, this is the Baskerville Donovan on the lift station rehabs.
Correct, for the PW 2022-07 agreement.
So did anybody up here have any other question on this one? Did anybody in the audience have any comments? Okay, so we would need a motion on item number 4, the PW 2022-07.
Motion to approve contract amendment, PW 2022-07, lift station rehab engineering services, Baskerville, Donovan.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. If there's no discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we'll go on to item number 5, which is the Sandy Creek wastewater infrastructure with Baskerville Donovan.
Yes, this is the same
Same thing.
situation.
Anybody have any
No.
comment or question? Anybody in the audience want to comment on this one? Same issue, just a different contract. If there's no comment, we need a motion.
Motion to approve contract amendment, CM 2023-03, Sandy Creek wastewater infrastructure restoration improvements, Baskerville, Donovan.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second on this one. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we'll go on to item number 6, which is the Hugh Thomas North Spine Road with Panhandle Engineering.
Same thing.
Same thing, different contract. So, any comment from the audience? No, so we just need a motion on this one, gentlemen.
Motion to approve contract amendment, CM 2023-04, Hugh Thomas North Spine Road and associated utilities, Panhandle Engineering.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. So, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries, and we will go on to the last one, which is CM 2020-10, CDBG-DR Grant Administration, Goris and Associates. And you said there was something different on this one.
Yes, it incorporates those two provisions, but I also forgot to put on here, they pointed out that Florida statute requires their records for stuff like this to be held for 4 years before they're destroyed. Florida Department of Commerce requires 6 years, so the original contract notated 4 years, and this is amending to also extend that to 6 years to align with Department of Commerce.
Okay. Okay, anybody have any?
I do. When I read through this, I didn't see the same annotations as the other three. Did you drop those off or not
So
necessary?
the exhibits look different because this one came from Goris itself, since they're the administrator, that came from them. That included both of those provisions that were missing, as well as the public records amendment. The other ones, because they're not administrators that can do their own amendments, the city attorney.
If you look, you can see like where it says, Exhibit A, federal contract provisions, they added.
Yeah.
If you look at the other ones, it's the telecommunication, video surveillance, domestic preferences. So it's the same provisions that were added, it just looks different because they spelled them out here as opposed to replacing the entire exhibit.
I got you.
So like 38 and 39.
Yeah, they listed the company.
Yeah, they listed them instead of doing a whole new exhibit.
Huawei.
That's all it did, it just added to that exhibit. So.
Okay. Anybody have any other question?
39-2 covers the 6 years.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
For the records.
the difference. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, does anybody in the audience have any comment? Not seeing anybody. Would someone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve contract amendment, CM 2020-10, CBBG-DR Grant Administration, Goris and Associates.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. So if there's no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries, and that gets us through the contracts. Okay, we will go on to item number 8, development order application, Stillwater's subdivision. Mr. Fry?
This is a cul-de-sac, 14 units. If you'll remember, they got the property rezoned, reduced the density by a little bit, and removed that M. No mobile homes allowed. They will be building 14 houses. The review process from a staff level was pretty quick. We had just a very few comments on utilities that Jacob was able to take care of. Jacob is the engineer of record, works for Buchanan and Harper. Jacob and Mike Harper are here tonight to answer any questions we may have. The planning board did recommend denial for this. It was a split decision, 3-3. We were missing one member that night, so I guess if it's a tie, the answer is no. If you have any questions, we'll do our best to answer them.
Now, from what I understand, the issues that came up with the planning board were parking and parks. So does this development order meet the requirements for parking and for the amount of parks, recreational area, however we word it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It meets the code 100%.
Okay.
For all aspects.
Kind of making certainly a compliment, because one of the things we were concerned about when we were first looking at this potential development was the stormwater ditch, et cetera. And I see what y'all have done, Mike, is you've actually put the retention pond, on that side over there. And as far as the community playground, that's on that side on the side of the cul-de-sac, as far as the drawing is concerned. And very honestly, this is ideal, and I think y'all did a tremendous job in doing this. And for what we did, at least taking away the mobile home potential designation and all that business, and dealing with homes here with their R5 designation, did a perfect job on this, so that's why I'm complimenting you guys.
Anyone else have comments?
Was there specific things that they thought were deviation from the rules?
Not specifically, it was just general.
Yes, Jim.
Bill, I want to make a comment. This is a neighborhood, and maybe I've been accused of being a dinosaur anyway, but it used to be in neighborhoods, when you had parties, you went to your neighbors, and the neighbors allowed parking even in their driveways and this kind of thing. So any kind of parking issue is not even considered, because, if you're going, somebody in the neighborhood's getting married, or children are getting married or something like that, all the neighbors are involved in all this kind of stuff. So parking has never been an issue in any development that I've been in all my years, so.
Yeah, but that's back in the 50s, we're in 2020.
Well, what you're then saying is back in the 50s or 60s or 70s or 80s or 90s or 2000,
Yeah, but today
that
that's,
people are not courteous.
yeah.
So but the city is not responsible for the discourteousness.
No, we're not responsible for it as long as they meet the requirements.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any comment?
No, ma'am.
Okay, anybody in the audience want to comment? Mr. Carnahan?
Jeff Carnahan, 7752 Shadow Bay Drive. I'm on the planning board, and I'm one of the ones that voted against it. And parking, to me, seems an issue. There's going to be no garages right now on the plans for these houses. The driveway barely fits 2 cars per unit. And we're all used to having people come over to our house. My neighborhood right now, you can't even drive up and down the streets half the time because somebody's got something parked out on the street blocking half the street. Or when somebody moves in, there's a moving van and the whole street's taken up or whatever. And I think there should be some sort of parking lot or something designed there besides 2 spots per unit. There's no other available parking there. The street's just barely 22 feet wide, and that's why I was against it. And in reference to your comment, Mr. Griggs, you're right, everybody knew everybody back then. Right now, I don't even know half my neighbors, no matter how hard I try to be friendly with them. So yeah, we used to be able to park in people's driveways and stuff like that, but now with 2 cars, every house has 2 cars or 3 cars, and they're gonna have kids in there and everything, so they're gonna have 3 and 4 cars at their place. There's no place for those cars to park. That's my opinion on it.
Yes, ma'am.
Once again, we have a commissioner insulting the citizens of Callaway. It's not courteous or discourteous for your neighbor to not allow you to park in their driveway. They have the right to private property. They have the right to park their own cars in their own driveway. They're not required by social standards, City of Callaway policy standards or development standards. That was really uncalled for. People have the right to private property.
Anybody else? Yes, sir?
Ooh, you looked over this time.
Well, no, I can see your hand up there. I'm learning that you're over there. So I look close.
Paul Bohack, 7010 Mike Lane. While as a member of the planning board, I initially voted in support of the Stillwater subdivision development order, discussions during the meeting, followed by additional review of the plans afterwards, have since prompted a revision of my thinking. The subdivision consists of single-family homes. It is likely children, including adolescents, will be among those residing therein. Except for the roadway into and out of the subdivision, the expected to be dry detention pond area, and the designated park area, there are few outdoor recreational areas available, despite the fact that it meets the minimum requirements. Mr. Fry already clarified that movable basketball posts at the end of driveways with the nets hanging over the roadway to accommodate pickup games would be a code enforcement issue. Resident parking, vehicle parking could also become an issue. As was discussed during the meeting that night, it is not unusual for a family to have 2 vehicles. If there is a youth of driving age, a 3rd vehicle would likely also be present, resulting in street parking. A situation made worse if a party is held anywhere in the subdivision. One cannot argue with the need for increased housing in Callaway. However, such housing can be more than a hat hanger meeting basic residential requirements. Amenities such as adequate outdoor space for exercise and recreation, parking to include emergency, daily use, recreational and visitor vehicles, as well as safety measures to protect young children or the elderly who may also be residents in such subdivisions ought to be considered. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bohawk. I know we have a lot of discussion about parking, but to me, as long as they're meeting what the city requirements are, I don't think we can hold it against them. You know, if we change our requirements for future, that's different, but they're meeting what we require right now. So I don't think we can say, well, because you're not going above and beyond, I mean, that's my thought on it.
It looks to me like across the street where you have the retention pond, there's a big space between the pond and the edge of the road. Would that be suitable for parking overflow?
That's up to the people, and you bring up a good point. I don't want to say anything about that, but here again, depending on the amount of rain we have and all that, there's quite a bit of space there, so. And also concerning children, this is a cul-de-sac. There's not through traffic going through there, so it's basically just neighborhood traffic. And I'll get back to the neighborhood situation, so.
This doesn't look much different than the other two streets next to it where they're cul-de-sacs also.
Yeah, 22 is feet is standard. So-
Right, 11 feet.
And in any of our developments, whether it be Bridge Harbor or whatever, those roads are same, so.
Yes, sir.
Bill, what's the size, I didn't bring my magnifying glass, what's the size of the driveway? You know, these plans are,
The size of the driveway,
yeah, the driveway, what's the size?
it doesn't,
Well, I'd like to know, I mean, it makes a difference. What is the size?
Typically,
What's the requirement?
12, there's 12 to 16 feet.
What are they planning on doing here?
Each property will be permitted separately with the driveway and the house.
Yeah, but
Mike or Jacob, do you have an idea of the width of the driveways?
it's kind of hard to see when we don't have magnifying glass on these plans.
I'm with you.
That's where I look at them on my computer where I can.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to do that as a commission, though. Whatever they put in front of us, we should be able to read and understand. We shouldn't have to get a 10-strong magnifying glass to figure out what they're doing. And I have to comment, it's just neighborhood, but, you know, obviously speeding in neighborhoods is an issue in every neighborhood in our city.
I mean, other than the cul-de-sac, looks like they're all 110-foot lots, then you got your setbacks, so you're gonna have.
The lots are 110 feet, but we don't know how wide
Yeah,
the
you can see the
driveways
building
are.
footprints.
And we're saying between 12 and 16, and which one is it?
Mike Harper, Buchanan and Harper. Without looking through here and trying to find it, my recollection is they're 20 by 20.
The driveways are going to be 20 by 20?
Yeah.
That's big.
That's big.
And in answer to your previous question, I mean, that area could be used for overflow parking, just with the rain grass. I mean, it'd be like some of the churches where you have a lot of event.
Yes, sir.
They park on the grass, they could park on the grass there.
Thank you.
But where in the plans are you seeing 20 by 20?
I haven't looked.
We're approving
I
something
think
and we
it's
can't see it in front of us.
I think it's a note somewhere, but just trying to find it quickly, I don't know if I could. And it may have been in one of the reports that accompanied this, but like Bill says, the driveways will, when they do the building permit,
They'll have to come back to us.
that's.
Yeah, I'd have to come back, but,
Development order for each one.
yeah.
Right.
But I think my recollection is when we designed it for 20 by 20. Let's see if it's a note on the.
For 4 cars.
You had to put me on the spot if I could have found it.
Pop quiz.
It's, let's see. And I don't have my glasses either.
But
Let me look one other place real quick and see if I can find it. But it was for 2 cars. I can assure you it was for 2 cars.
Well, a normal car in between 5.8 and 6 feet, so if it's 20 by 20, you can almost fit 3 cars in there, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
yes.
4, then 2 side by side behind each other.
I just looked up what's a normal width, but nothing is normal anymore, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't,
You got those big old trucks.
I'm not seeing it on here, but my recollection was 20 by 20.
I Okay, that'll be in the development order anyways, right?
That particular information concerning that is not part of what we're
I know.
voting on today.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Any more question or comment, gentlemen?
I'm good.
Anybody else? Commissioner Birdseye, did you have anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and we've got everybody in the audience, correct? Yes, ma'am.
Teresa Langston, 6031 Lance Street. I just want to point out that the other streets over close to where this neighborhood is, they have 14, 16 homes, but they take up both sides of the road. You talk about street parking, it's not going to bother this, it's not going to bother that. Previously, the commission was talking about restricting street parking, so if people are parked on the street and you restrict street parking, well, there goes that issue right there. I know that in a meeting a couple months ago, I mean, there's been some previously talked about it. I don't know if it'll come to pass or not, but just bringing it out there. And on this one, we're putting 14 houses on one side of the street and half of the cul-de-sac. And like I said, the other neighborhoods, they have 14 to 16 homes on both sides of the street. The planning board didn't find anything out of compliance, like Mr. Ayers was questioning. They're just concerned about the parking, you know, if there's garage parking, driveway parking. What are we going to do if somebody has 2 or 3 homes, or 2 or 3 cars per home? And again, if you have all these homes compacted in there, how many people are going to want to live? I don't want to live on top of my neighbor. I mean, I get it that there's some people that do like that, but it kind of restricts. You know, you got to look for a certain type of person, and, you know, in the cul-de-sac or not, people are going to go speeding up and down the roads, especially teenagers, people in a hurry, not watching out for the neighborhood kids. So,
Thank you, Ms. Langston. Anybody else? I don't see anybody. So it's back to us, gentlemen. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll motion to approve development order applications for the Stillwater subdivision.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? No. If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, we'll go on to item number 9. Variance request, 1023 Primrose Street. I guess, Mr. Fryer, you on this one as well?
Sorry?
I said we're going on to the variance request for 1023 Primrose Street. I asked if that was yours as well.
So, Mr. Robert Trail has requested a variance from the land development regulations to be able to do residential warehouse, shed, storage on commercial property. The variance is kind of twofold. Normally, we don't allow accessory structures without primary structures. In other words, you can't put a shed on the property without a house. And also, this is commercial property. I'm sure you remember the property was rezoned to community commercial. So before you can do anything on vacant commercial property, you have to get a commercial development order. So he's requesting to just do the residential side of it without any commercial aspect to it at all. He's also planning on doing some fencing. And there's pictures, a couple examples. Mr. Trail is here tonight, so if you would like to hear from him.
And if I remember correctly, this was, a lot of the neighbors were concerned because he was talking about boat storage. Is that not correct?
So
Yeah, and I know a lot of the neighbors were concerned about what was going to go in there commercially, so now he just wants to do a residential structure,
For
Which would-
garage, yeah.
which would kind of cut down on any commercial development.
And I'll let Mr. Trail speak for
Okay,
himself. But from what I
okay.
understand, he's wanting to do residential only now.
Okay.
And maybe commercial later.
Later,
Maybe
okay.
not. But
Okay.
if you'd like to hear from
Then
Mr.
Mr.
Trail, he's here. when we originally started the ordinances for 1124, 1125, we were really doing some cleanup work from years ago. I bought that land, it wasn't zoned, it was undesignated, had to go through the zoning process. But also during this process, I specifically identified a personal storage building on there where it won't do no commercial activities or anything. You know, right now, boat storage is just a notional thing. I may do later down the road, I'd have to do a development order, everything for that, and it may not never happen. But all I want to do right now is just go through the standard building process to get me a personal storage building on the garage. And like I say, no commercial activities there whatsoever. I'm putting the stuff, I got stuff, my personal assets on the shop. The lot right now, I'm just trying to get him indoors, put a privacy fence up, where, no one can see and stuff for security and, kind of provide a little coverage, from the neighborhood. So,
What's going in the garage?
I got a couple boats myself. I got a bunch of old antique cars. I'm kind of working on some old Mercuries and Fairlanes and stuff like that.
No commercial activity?
No, none whatsoever. That's been a plan all along.
Yes, sir.
Even when I first bought the lot, I thought it was zoned agriculture. Because tax site, it was taxed as ag and that. And come find out it's undesignated and it's supposed to be in boat storage, so I kind of went down that avenue. So I'm kind of just trying to get my garage built right now, just to store the stuff in. It's been a long-term plan. The commercial activities may not never happen there.
Anybody else have a question for Mr.
Well,
Bell?
if I recall, and you just brought it up, you had an antique car or two that you had talked about garaging on that side of the road. And, but you're not going to be doing boat storage or what?
Well, if I ever done a boat storage or anything community commercial, I'll have to do a development order then. Right now, there's zero commercial activities going to take place on the lot. Just specifically my storage. I've always had, everywhere I've been, I was having a big shop just to store my stuff in. And here I got a little two-car garage now. Everything's kind of outside and scattered all over town.
If I recall, whenever we put all this together on your original plans, you had the shop listed on there, but you also had a spot for a residential home. Is there a reason that you didn't split it out to have residential and commercial as separate things, so we wouldn't be going down this?
Well, we bought some homes in there, and we live right across the street. That's really when I bought the lot. I bought 1171 Poston Road at the same time, so I thought it was actually ag. So I put me a shop over there. Then we kind of found out, no, it's undesignated, so I'd go down this other route. And eventually we still could possibly put a home there. It's just, but it's nothing, right in the immediate plan. Instead of, going down the process, doing a development order on something, any business side, know that may not ever be there. I don't have to go down the process just to build my personal garage. I just want to use a standard, like if I was building a garage in a house right across the street. Just standard process like that. Building permits and.
Anybody have any other questions?
I have an issue with this whole thing for the simple fact of what it does allow. Not only the garage, but, if we read the narrative, we can turn that into a goat farm, on and on and on, and I have a big problem with that, especially in that neighborhood. Because just because he says he's not going to do it, once we approve it, he can do it.
Well, see, in attachment A, that's what I have a
Right.
problem with as far as the
Yeah.
language is concerned.
And again, I have a problem with that language, but I also have a problem with, again, we're going into variances, and how many variances have we approved? None. This is out of the ordinary, we've never done it before, and we are again, deciding that we're gonna go ahead and allow it. And specifically, this particular property, I just have an issue with all of it. I don't like what we're doing here. Because then you'll have the whole neighborhood in here, we've allowed having cattle and dogs and cats, well, not dog and cat, but, if you read, what it allows, then we have no control over it. Code enforcement can't cite them because it's there. I'm not saying he's gonna do it, but it allows it,
Yeah.
and I don't like it.
If,
That's the next item. That's the next item.
Did I miss it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
I guess this is,
No, there's no goats. He skipped ahead one.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
I'm on the wrong page, sorry.
It's all right.
Same property.
Go back to 9.
Same property.
But the variance is only to put a garage there.
No,
It's
that's on
not for
Lotus.
anything
Yeah,
else.
yeah, go back.
So, I mean, it's already
Yeah.
commercial.
Yeah, we already did the commercial designations.
Yeah,
So,
it's got a commercial designation, it wants to put a personal garage on a commercial piece of
yeah,
property.
different issue.
it's his property and.
My glasses are bad.
Okay.
I got you.
Yeah, I personally don't see a problem with it.
Me neither,
It's
but
his
that's-
The more residential
It's a
stuff
garage.
would alleviate the neighbors' concerns.
Yes, because that's, the neighbors were concerned about the boat
Yeah.
storages, so if he's got a residential building, that's gonna be that much less space
Yes, ma'am.
to be used for commercial unless he tears it down, but,
Right.
yeah, I don't have an issue, because that's not allowing anything other than to put that residential
Yeah,
building.
I missed it, Mayor.
Okay.
He skipped the 10.
My glasses are,
You were just warming up.
He skipped to the next one. That's
I'm
right,
warming
that's
up for
right.
the next round, yeah.
Yeah, warm it up.
Okay, so anybody else have any question or comment from Mr. Trail?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay, thank you. Did anybody in the audience want to comment on this variance request? Yes, sir?
William Troop, 11733 Poston Road. And I just have some questions. Again, what is this building going to look like? What's the size? Again, I don't know if it's too early in the process. The residents would like to know what this thing is going to look like. Is it going to be a 2-story garage with 14 bays? Is it going to be a 5-bay garage? Again, we would just like to know what it looks like. That's it?
Yes, sir.
How many square feet, Mr. Crowe, how many square feet is that?
50 by 60.
Okay. So again, we didn't have this information.
Yes, sir.
If we can I'll get that out to the folks in our development, explain what that is, because there's just a lot of concern when, we say buildings, shed, structures, we just don't understand a lot of that. And we always want to make sure we effectively communicate. And speaking of communications, I want to give hats off to Mr. Frye. He has really reached out to our community to get it out on our webpage, to communicate what's going on. So I think that information will be very helpful. We're talking a small 2-3-bay garage.
No, excuse me, you need to address the commission.
I'm sorry,
the
yeah.
audience.
Is it going to be a small 2-3-bay garage, I believe? 3-bay, okay. Again, we just want to get this information out to our residents so they can learn, because we have a lot of concerns of what this is going to look like. And we really thank the commissioners and the staff for their communication, and we'll get this out to the residents as soon as we can.
Okay.
I can get an email from Mr. Frye, if that's all right.
Is there not a copy in the packet that's up there?
I can grab that.
Yeah,
See
grab it, it should be in that packet.
Again, thank you all very much.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Troop, for your involvement.
Anybody else? I don't see anybody. Am I missing anyone? I don't see anybody, so would somebody like to make a motion?
Motion to approve the variance for the City of Callaway Land Development Regulations.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Now we'll go on to item number 10, variance request 6608 Lois Street.
I'm on the right page now.
You're on the right page now.
Sorry. I got ahead.
This variance is requested by Jennifer and John Bourne, who are here tonight. And it is simply to allow livestock, and it says or fowl, but this is changed a little bit since this was originally done. We are able to issue fowl permits at a staff level. Code enforcement goes out and does an inspection, et cetera. They do have a fowl permit for some chickens and stuff. They are in compliance with that portion of it. But the list of animals are defined as livestock in our ordinance, and they are requesting to be allowed to keep their livestock there. They were a little misled by the realtor, thinking it was going to be allowed. They moved in, code enforcement showed up, and here we are tonight.
Do the variances go before the planning board?
No, sir. Not unless they're in our overlay district. If it's a variance from our overlay district, then they do.
Okay, thank you.
No, and it did look like they're only requesting variance for 14 months, is that correct? There is a time limit on this?
They do have an agenda to be shipped out, they're military folks.
Anybody have any questions for
Is
Mr.
it-
Fry?
It looks like the lot next door is the one they're gonna use for the livestock. Are they gonna clean that lot?
I know they own both of them. I'll let Mrs. Bourne answer that as to exactly where they're gonna be stored. I have not physically walked out there and had a look at it.
I do have one other question. Have you heard from any of the neighbors concerned
no, ma'am.
about, so nobody is concerned about this variance possibly being?
I've talked to a few in the yard as we passed out the notice requirements, but they haven't called in or emailed or
So you've got
anything other than just general conversations in the yard
So
as we passed out.
no
the notice.
complaint
Nobody
from
has-
the neighbors? No complaints?
Just questions,
And animals are already there then, I assume, yeah.
and they are there now.
What triggered the code enforcement to, I don't imagine
It
you're
was a
driving
complaint.
down the road and you're seeing these things.
I'm sure it was a complaint because, like I said, you can't see them unless you're really right on top of them. I believe someone on Lauren Lane called, and it may have been more of a concern than a complaint, but, code enforcement did respond.
Okay, because that property has had, it has quite a history, particularly after the hurricane. It's had positive history until after the
Yeah.
hurricane, so. And as far as anybody complaining, as of, July 2 or 3 years ago, that the state required, if somebody complained, to have that record on that complaint.
Yeah, I'm sure code enforcement has it.
Okay. My biggest complaint on this whole thing involves the realtor. This is an absolute misrepresentation of that, and we have, I don't know, city attorney, I kind of wish we could sanction some realtors, because they just putting out all kinds of misinformation, and correct information is out there, but the people that are buying these properties don't necessarily know exactly where to find those
Yeah, but they can file a lawsuit against the broker. They can. I still have my real estate broker.
Then go and complain to CPAR
Yeah.
and Association of Realtors.
CPAR, there's
We
all
don't
kinds of,
regulate them, obviously, but
yeah, there's all kinds
there's
of revenues
avenues.
for this. There's a lot of salespeople that stretch the truth, but by law, these people can sue the broker for this, by law, and probably will win,
Well, I wish
if it's in writing.
I wish somebody would, I wish they would, because this
If it's
is,
in writing. If it's verbal, then it's a whole bunch of different issues, but if it's in writing,
this is in writing.
Yeah, I mean, and
Then
there's
they should take them to
documentation here, the realtor is pretty much acknowledging, yeah, I did that, I thought I was right.
yeah,
It's in advertisement.
so there's a remedy for it by law.
Well, you can sue, but that doesn't completely take care of the problem.
No, it doesn't take care of the problem, but I have a problem having livestock in the neighborhood, period, This is not a farming community, it's a community residence.
Well, see, by what the realtor did, this is why I wish we could take some type of action, because what the realtor did is put us in the position of having to make this decision tonight, one way or the other. And either way we go with the decision is not,
It's lose-lose.
is not helpful.
And the other thing too, it would have been helpful if we had a complaint, that would have been part of our package. Obviously code enforcement works for the city manager, but there was a complaint filed, it would have been nice that we brought forward to us.
Yeah.
Again, we're working in the dark, we're making decisions in dark, and that should have been done ahead of time. because we don't know what the complaint, obviously it was a complaint filed.
Do you know the particulars of the complaint?
I do not, I'm sorry. No.
But it was one.
From what I understand, I believe it was just one.
Anybody up here have anything else to say before I open it up to the floor?
I got ahead of the program, so.
I think she
Yes,
gets.
I think you are the person, if you want to come up and say something about this.
Don't worry, you don't have to prepare for me.
But please identify yourself.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Jennifer Bourne. I live at 6608 Lois Street.
Thank you.
I would just like to say that it is not only the realtor's fault, and she truly, I don't believe she was misleading whatsoever. I believe it was truly an honest-to-goodness, an accident. I don't believe that it was, and in her defense, when we looked up on our deed, it says lot usage, it's in that paper there, and it says AC, which we were under the impression, because we Googled, what does AC mean in SFR land use in Florida? And it says AC or AG is agriculture. So we had no reason not to believe anything that was said. We didn't do anything that was intentional. We truly, and the complaint was Mrs. Ruth Keeney. She lives, she abuts our property, and she was concerned that we didn't know the codes, and if we were in, she didn't know if we were in the city or not. So she just wanted to make sure we knew the codes. So as opposed to knocking on our door and asking us, she had code enforcement alert us, and it was due to a rooster. We had our chickens, they grew up, it started crowing, waited till the rooster round up, the rooster is since gone. That was the only complaint. Nobody said anything about our animals, nothing. They're all under 100 pounds, they're all small, none of them make noise. But I would like to, please allow me to read my, I'm so nervous, I'm so
As long as you don't, because you gave us a lot of information, as long as you don't go through.
Oh, no, that's just all for you guys, so you guys are aware of the situation. But, and, Mr., I'm so sorry, I can't, I'm so nervous, I forget. Mr. Fry asked me if I was okay with all of my blood work and everything being in the packet, to which I said, I believe all of that explains our situation and why we bought the property as well. It wasn't just, we want to buy this property. There was a reason, and we moved there because of it being, allowed. So that said, we are a military family of 4 that has been stationed here in Florida for the last 3 years. My husband is a 23-year active duty Master Chief Master Diver at the dive school in Panama City. In the 3 years we've lived here, we have been active in both communities, shop local, joined cleanup groups with our children. I volunteer in coaching positions for multiple sports. Go Turtles. I offer free childcare to struggling moms. I registered our security cameras with Bay County and have sent in footage to help in 2 drug-related shootings that were on Lois Street, ultimately leading to the arrest of the proper parties. I have given my contact information and explained to all of my neighbors that I have never and would never impede on anyone's peace for any reason. So please call, text me, let me know, and the situation will be handled immediately without question or judgment in their favor. If for some reason we had a goat that went, the animals we have, we are not getting any more animals. Like, God forbid our goat went crazy and started bleeding all night, then I would bring him inside and we would, I'm not going to impede on anybody's peace and quiet. I'm a mom of children. I understand the need for peace and quiet. So we purchased our current home 6 minutes away from the rental we lived in Bridge Harbor for 2 years, not because we could afford it, but because it was listed as followed, and my internal organs were literally shutting down. 4 bedrooms, bonus rooms, 4 bathrooms, and so many options outside. Livestock, horses, you name it. It's not because we want to be farmers or because of this crunchy mom homestead era. It's because I've spent countless hours over the last 4 years in dozens of doctors' offices, getting in tears, getting blood work sent out of town hours for different procedure after procedure, after specialist after specialist. My next trip is down to the Mayo Clinic. I've had 4 colonoscopies and upper GIs in the last 4 years, and I'm 42 years old. The age of your first colonoscopy should be 45. To retrieve biopsies to figure out why I'm so sick and to try to stay alive for my children. After genetic testing and more invasive procedures were done, it was found that I have a serious gene mutation that restricts breakdown of life-sustaining vitamins and nutrients. Now what? So after months of tests and research, we decided the move was necessary because we lived in an HOA neighborhood. Those of you that are military know that this was a huge decision because we already move every 3 years, but quality of life supersedes a slight inconvenience. So within 3 weeks of moving in, we started the tiresome process of growing, composting, utilizing a special diet for our animals to ensure that their eggs are clean, and fertilizing my fruits and vegetables with specific composts for specific produce that aren't high in specific nutrients to help me live a life worth living. In less than 1 year, I've gone from violently vomiting daily to once every few weeks, and my thyroid, a separate issue, is almost completely under control. We haven't had a single issue or complaint until one of our female chicks we purchased and raised turned out to be a he. We immediately handled the situation, honestly, not because we were worried, but because I don't want a rooster to fertilize my eggs and ruin my process. In conclusion, I never imagined my health journey would be against any sort of violation. Otherwise, we'd have kept looking for a home elsewhere. Please consider an exemption for the 14 months that we have left here. My health and being a good mother truly depend on it. So as that is said, we also included our PCS date. My husband will be on the admin side. We are moving to Millington, Tennessee, no later than July 7 of 27. We understand that this variance is only for the time that we're here. Even if we decide to rent it out, we understand the variance includes that we are not to have any other animals. And I also explained I have no desire or anything to agriculture, agritourism, advertise or display these animals. The property next to us, we cut in a little bit into the brush, but we like all of the trees and the tree lines, and we like, how we're building that property up. I have gardens going, I'm planting flowers, and our intention was to move back here after my husband plans to retire at 30 years. So we'll be in Millington until he retires at 30. And we were planning on moving back here. Obviously, things have changed because of this situation, but that's, a later problem that doesn't really apply to right now. As of right now, we're simply asking to be able to keep our animals. They, imagine if somebody was like, you have 3 days to get rid of your dog. These are a part of our family as well. So it's, we truly did not mean any ill will or to be a nuisance to the city of Callaway whatsoever.
But you're certain that within 14 months you will be leaving? Nothing would
Yes,
happen?
we're actually trying to move sooner. We're hoping, my daughter, she goes to Rising Leader Academy, and she will be in first grade next year, so we have to wait until at least May, but we'll be leaving between May and July, no later than.
So the 14 months would be
We actually
sufficient?
extended our PCS date 1 year to be in 27 because we assumed the VA loan on our house, and you have to live in that for at least 1 year before being able to rent it out or sell it or do anything. So we assumed the VA loan, have no choice but to stay for a year. We'll have been in the home for a year in about a month. So we're only asking for the time that we are here until we PCS. And I mean, even, God forbid, somehow he decides he doesn't want to be a Navy diver anymore, then we will
Thank you for
address
your,
that.
for all your information, but I'm going to disagree with one thing that you said.
Yes, sir.
You were saying that the realtor, you sure didn't do this on purpose and whatever. I would disagree with that, but I would term that the realtor is incompetent. The realtor agent is incompetent, and the supervision of that agent is the responsibility of the broker. So the broker shares in that incompetence on here. So if y'all take any other action, we can't do anything about it, but you take any other action. If I'm part of an approval on this, it's only for the specified time.
Oh, yes, that's all we're asking for.
And if you rent the property, then it goes, there's, none of this applies to any of the,
Correct. It specifies all of that in the papers I put. It does not transfer to a renter. It does not go past, even if we had to stay here, it does not go past July of 27. And if, God forbid, we did have to stay here, we would either come back and ask for another one, which I'm sure you would say no.
not for me.
Obviously.
And it would have to specify that no additional animals, only what
And
you
I have the list of animals that we have on there, so I definitely, I have no problem not getting anything else, keeping what we have on there, and
If any of these became a nuisance, would you have a problem getting rid of them?
I wouldn't get rid of them, I would board them somewhere, but
Okay.
yes.
Basically all
Oh,
the property.
absolutely.
You would take
Yes.
care of it if it became a nuisance.
Absolutely. And even I put in there all of the feces information about each animal is, it's very little smell, odorless, so on and so forth, the animals that we do have. And it's not like we have 4 acres and a few animals back there, and some chickens.
Mayor, I'd like to table this until we get the findings from code enforcement.
I have the
He's got it.
right here if you'd like.
They came to my house since this has been brought up and had inspected my home. Miss Fry came and inspected my home.
Do you have the complaint? Or,
Mayor, I've already tabled it. I'd like for them to bring it back from code enforcement, please.
no?
Okay.
So, in the meantime, we just continue as is,
What does that mean?
and we'll bring it up at the next
It'll
meeting.
bring it back to the next meeting.
We're
So you get
done.
the
We
code
can't
enforcement
discuss
complaint
it
information.
anymore
No, I
tonight.
just
And we'll
wanted
bring
to
it back at the next meeting.
at the next meeting? Okay.
Okay?
Gives us a
Thank you very much for
couple
your
more
time.
weeks maybe to come by, say hi, and see how things look, and so.
Okay? Okay, well, we'll go on to item number 11, bid award.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, we cannot discuss it. It has been tabled, we cannot discuss it.
Table, it'll come back in 2 weeks.
No, he tabled the item, so we cannot discuss it until our next meeting, so.
It'll come back.
So we'll go on to agenda item number 11, bid award CM 2026-01, citywide push button paving. Are you going to cover this one, City Clerk?
So we issued the invitation to bid on January 14th with a closing date of February 12th. We received 5 proposals as followed, or as notated in the summary form. After evaluating the pricing in each proposal, there were several different prices for different categories in each one. The staff recommendation was to award the agreement to CW Roberts Contracting based on the included asphalt construction services proposal form.
I'm assuming they're overall were the lowest prices?
Yes.
So they're going to charge us mobilization every time? Is that correct?
Well, yeah, because they've
Yeah, I
been
know.
mobilizing.
Yeah, I mean, if we're able to get them, more than one job at a time, depending
Right.
on how close they are, they may
So
not
if-
have to,
so
but
if
I
you
don't want to say that
combine-
for certain.
2 or 3 little jobs, then mobilization will be one fee.
If they're, relatively close
Decent
together.
proximity, yeah.
Well, it's just a
I don't wanna say
matter of
100% certain, because that's
planning it
more of
right.
Eddie's field of things, but from what I understand, that would be the attempt.
Right.
Usually when we choose between contractors, we have the amounts listed.
Yeah, so because this is not just a lump sum bid with one number for each one, each company has 5 different, what is it, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6 different pricings. I honestly didn't know how to put all that onto that summary form. I can send the pricing, the bid tabulation, if y'all would like to see this, but C.W. Roberts did have the lowest average between all of the categories.
Okay.
Anybody have anybody in the audience want to comment on the push-button paving? This is just so that we have a contractor we can call on when we have a small paving job without having to go through the bid process.
But bigger than what the city can do. Bigger the job than what the city can do.
Yes, bigger than the
but-
city
but
itself.
Smaller than what you just send out every time.
Nobody wants to speak, would someone like to make a motion?
open for discussion.
Pardon me?
And decide.
Open for additional.
If you, yes, I asked if anybody wanted to comment. This is on the push-button paving.
No, okay,
That's the only thing we're discussing now is the paving.
sorry.
Okay,
We won't forget you.
so,
The Mayor, I'd like to motion to approve the bid award for the CM 2026-01 citywide push-button paving.
Second.
okay, that's to C.W. Roberts.
C.W.
correct?
Roberts.
Okay, so we've got a motion and a second to award to C.W. Roberts. So if there's no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we will go on to an add-on item. I don't know what we're calling that, so city attorney.
Cherry Street, water main,
Okay,
Replacement materials.
water materials only, yeah. I mean,
yes,
Remember my conversation with Eddie, and they'll drive over here, hold on a second,
Yeah.
bear with me. So, this is not contractor related, you got the Cherry Street project going on. Obviously, a lot of stuff is exposed in the right of way. We have, the city has cast iron water mains, so some rust spots, I think there's some leaks happening. So, one, as to not interrupt services of water to the citizens, that would be sort of the emergency, which is allowed under procurement policy, because it's over $10,000. I did talk to them, they did receive 3 bids, or 3 quotes. The city will perform this project.
The quotes are for materials only. correct?
Materials only, we'll do it, and so in addition to not losing services, it's kind of good timing because the right-of-ways are torn up, all that's going on out there, so we can upgrade or replace the cast iron with the modern, PVC, and it's 860 feet. I think Bill said it was from Jan to Comet is where it's starting.
8-inch pipes, 6-inch?
It's a little bit bigger, I mean, Bill can, 10-inch, yeah, it's a little bit bigger. So if you guys want to take notes, we got a proposal from Empire. And again, it's materials only. Empire is $64,849. Ferguson would supply the materials for $66,291.60. And then Core and Main, we're doing, again, it's all 860 feet of pipe and materials. Core and Main would be $67,707.82. So it was refreshing to see that they're all pretty close together, obviously. So, I mean, Empire's, traditionally, we would have done an invitation to bid for materials only, sent it out for 2 weeks, come back and gotten it approved. So, I mean, again, we're just buying materials. It wasn't a construction project, so we would have traditionally done an ITB and come back. But because, and on top of that, if the city can get this material in and done in 2 weeks, it will not cause any disruption to the Cherry Street project that's going on by American Sand. So I think what city manager didn't want to do is have the city cause any sort of a delay.
yes.
And that way, we would have to extend their contract completion date, Whereas if we get this stuff done in the next couple of weeks, then they're still on, they can't blame us for
That's right.
for any sort of a delay.
Do the prices stay the same whether we do an emergency order or wait and do a ITV?
I would imagine, if we did an ITB, we'd have to put it out there for like 2 weeks. I would imagine the prices will be the same, and you'll be back here in 2 weeks making this decision, and then the city would have to get the materials in, and then go and install it. So now we're at 4 weeks before it's done.
Yes.
And so we might lose 2 weeks of, we might have to tell American Sand,
Hold up the project.
stop construction for 2 weeks. And so I think that was an equal part of the concern as of, also, we don't want to have rusted cast iron pipe that's out there exposed. We could put it with PVC.
So are the materials readily available, no delays?
Yeah, they got back immediately. They've all three of these
Okay.
have it, and my understanding is that they have it, they can get it to us, and the city can go out there and start replacing it. And again, it's all sort of exposed right now. It's all being worked on with the Cherry Street work, so it sort of makes it easier.
How deep are we going with that?
How deep is our water main out there? So-
Around here, it's 30 inches, 36.
For
You don't have to
all
bury it deep.
860 feet?
I'm sorry?
For 860 feet?
Oh, how far are we going, or how deep are we going?
Well, I was gonna ask how deep, but
30 inches, he said.
30 inches.
Yeah, we asked for 860 feet of pipe, and then obviously all the other ancillary materials that are in there, but 860 feet of pipe.
We're not gonna have to rent equipment in order to do this ourselves?
We're hoping our 60 will take care of it.
That's one of the reasons I was asking how deep. So if you're deep with 30 inches, you're probably all right.
Yeah.
But we don't know that, right?
No, we know that.
We
The
don't.
60 will handle it.
For sure you're
for
gonna
sure.
go down to 30 feet?
30 inches.
And 30 inches, I mean?
Yeah, this thing will reach 12 feet in the ground, right below it, It's one scoop at a time.
Let me ask, how do we know that this pipe ends there? How do we know it doesn't go down the entire length of Cherry Street? We don't know, right?
No, the Water Division has been working on this to stay ahead of American Sand diligently.
So, I mean, if you have that now, you're gonna have it, I doubt that you just put that one section, right? So we have to assume that the entire street of Cherry Street will have that same issue.
Not necessarily.
I mean, yeah, they could have replaced sections years ago, I mean, if they had breaks and stuff, yeah. But I agree, they should go out there and sort of spot check and get ahead of it so we can,
You know,
we need more pipe. get
we
more
spent
pipe.
3 years planning for this, and all of a sudden now, here we go, again, at last minute. Surely, again, I keep on saying if we would have done this right to start off with, and surveyed it, and done it right, we wouldn't have these issues. And two is I don't quite understand why this wasn't sent to commission to start off with. Surely that didn't happen today, We should have.
All I can say is, I got the call today, and I talked to the city manager.
I didn't get a call.
He was on the road.
Yeah, I know.
I drive over here, I got the
City
call.
attorney, this didn't happen today, Our city manager should have known before today that we had an issue, and none of us were informed. So here we are this evening, trying to make a decision on this, and none of us were informed, other than you. And he worked for us, along with you.
I wanted to, but, I was informed at 4, and I can't remember why. I told him I'd bring it to you.
I did know a week ago, but it's still
Yeah.
fairly recent.
I'm glad you knew, because he doesn't talk to me,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
I guess he tells you stuff that he doesn't tell the rest of his commissioners. But I have an issue with it for the simple fact, obviously, we have to move forward with it, but we don't even know how much of a problem this is. If you have that in small section, it didn't end there. We had that same issue when I was on the beach. They just have one little section. And we need to look at the big picture, and there's got to be a way that we know that pipe could go on the entire length of Cherry Street. And all we do is we do everything last minute. So I just have an issue, obviously we have to go forward, we won't delay the project, we've already delayed it for 8 or 9 years now. Yeah, but I have two issues. One is that our employee is not informing his bosses, and two is that how do we know we don't have a bigger problem? And we're not
In his
piecemealing.
defense, a little bit, he did not know that pipe was the way it was until about a week or so ago, and we discussed it at the
Cast iron.
time.
That
So I
was
mean, it's something that,
A week or so ago, we should have been informed. If you knew a week or so ago, the rest of us didn't.
I think he was trying to decide what he needs to do, and today, I guess he came up with a decision, so.
Okay, well, does anybody else up here have anything to say?
No.
Did anybody in the audience want to comment on pipe? Ms. Langston? Did the little girl want to say something? She raised her hand, so I want to give all our citizens the same opportunity. You'll have to hold her up to the microphone.
It'll be in the segments, and some of it will be old.
Teresa Langston, 6031 Lincoln Street. I mean, you pretty much start taking the thoughts that I'm thinking of. When is the commission going to put a stop to this? If the city manager knew a week ago, why wasn't it put in the agenda for the citizens to see the extra money that is being asked for? Why is it, last minute when, people don't get a chance to see what is going on, and then you guys get to vote on it? Apparently, it's not that much of an emergency if he knew a week ago. But this is continuously, project after project, of waiting till the last minute, not putting it on the agenda for the citizens to see, apparently from everybody's reaction, you guys must have known about it, and the only person surprised is Commissioner Pelletier, seems to be.
I didn't know about it.
But I find it ridiculous that one commissioner admitted that he knew about it, but then nobody else knew about it, and now all of a sudden it's an emergency, we've got to approve it last minute, When are y'all gonna put a stop to this? How many times have it's been asked to stop doing this last minute, to come before the commission ahead of time, and then of course it would have been in the agenda for the citizens to see. Y'all don't mind spending citizen money. People over here talk about raising, who cares, raise taxes, let's just do it. That's not fair to the citizens.
Anybody else?
Just to make one thing clear, we haven't raised taxes.
No, we lowered the tax rate,
Yes,
in
ma'am.
fact.
Yes, but the answer is for the taxpayers to pay for it, that's my point. Spend money, and who cares, and let's just have the taxpayers.
I can't have you talking from out there,
Of course
please.
not.
Did anybody else want to
We
speak?
sat up there for 15 minutes, but
Nobody else? Okay, gentlemen, what's your pleasure?
Motion to approve the, wrong one. Motion to approve the Cherry Street materials only, water main replacement.
Is that Empire?
From
With
Empire.
Empire, the low bid, Empire, 64,849.20. 64,849.20, that's the.
Yes, with Empire for the 64,000 plus.
849.20. Okay, make sure we get that in there.
64,849.20, yeah.
Oh, 20 cents, I didn't
Yeah.
have the 20 cents.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, we will go on to commission comments. Really, the only thing I wanted to bring up is there is a TPO meeting tomorrow afternoon. I know some of you do attend those, and there are going to be a few different things related to Callaway on the agenda. So, you may want to come and hear about those Callaway things that are going to be on there. So we'll go ahead, Commissioner Birdsell.
Nothing to add.
Huh?
I don't really have a whole lot.
Okay, Commissioner Graves.
I'm gonna do something again. The Callaway has stated goals that we as commissioners and the planning board, for example, or any of the boards, unless these goals change and the citizens we can do something to change the charter, we can do something to the procedure to do that. But right now, the goals for the city of Callaway, the mission of the government of the city of Callaway is to meet demands of growth, development, and promoting economic development and education while providing service at an affordable cost. Very honestly, I think this particular commission that we have now is following that goal. Partner with the community for safety and security. Serve its citizens by providing a quality of life for its residents and visitors that is attractive and inviting. We're certainly doing that. We have some of the best parks in the county, and it's so I think that we're basically following the goals, but we also need to realize that our various committees, et cetera, need to be looking at the same goals. So that's all I've got to say.
Okay, Commissioner Pelletier.
I had sent an email to city manager that we wanted to discuss 4th of July because we're getting close to that and we don't have a clue as the commissioners of what we're planning on doing. And he said it was going to be on the next agenda. So I think that, that's fine with that. And I would hope that maybe since we have a way of running cameras down pipes, that we could probably do that down Cherry Street, see how far that cast iron goes. Surely, knowing about cast iron doesn't go from cast iron to PVC. If it has, whoever built it didn't do it right. So I think, we need to start investigating and start looking at since we already know it's an issue, is it going to be an issue the entire street? And surely there's a way for us to figure that out. Cast iron metal detector should be able to do this. Got to be a way to survey it. So I would hope that our city manager takes a look at that so we don't end up with more surprises. And that's all I have for tonight.
Okay, Commissioner Ayers.
Yes, ma'am. I did meet with the city manager last week, and we toured the city and looked at the different projects we got going. This week had to do it on my own. Went by the lift station on Lance Avenue. It's coming along nicely. It's almost done. The roundabout is beautiful. It's looking really good on Boat Race and Bertha. They put the trees in the middle section, looking nice. The sidewalk is completely poured. And the next step is to lay the rest of the asphalt and paint, and it should be done. So that's all I have.
That's it. Okay, well, does City Clerk, you have anything for us? City Attorney, nothing else?
I got my Cherry Street project.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and read the announcements. Does it look like we'll be having a planning board meeting on March 3rd? Okay, there'll be a planning board meeting on March 3rd at 6 o'clock. Our next commission meeting is March 10th, right here at 6 o'clock. And like I said, TPO meeting tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 down at the transit yard. So we will go on to public comment. So who in the aisle? No, sir. Okay, Ms. Pelletier, go ahead.
Interesting that Commissioner Briggs brings up the stated goals as being an important part of Callaway. When the Ward 1 appointment was done, he skipped right over Karen Custer, who was the only one who knew those stated goals off the top of her head without having to even refer to notes. But also, just a clarification, Mr. Ayers talked about not raising taxes. Teresa was not saying that we raised taxes. She's referring to a previous meeting where a citizen said, came up to the podium and said, oh, if we need something, just raise taxes. I think, I don't want to speak for her, but I do think that she and I are both aware that you did lower ad valorem, and we do have the lowest ad valorem in Bay County, and you did not raise the taxes. So I just wanted to, I think there was a little misunderstanding there, so.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Who else wants to? Yes, sir?
My name's John Weatherby. I'm at 116 Swan Road, and this is my first time here. I am a retired firefighter from Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I got tired of the cold weather, so I came down here to run away from it. And so far, I've really loved it.
Wet and cold.
Yeah. I mean, what we call cold here is definitely not like Kentucky cold. I really enjoy Callaway, and I appreciate what all of y'all are doing, so I don't want you to take what I'm about to say as a strike against anybody here. I have just been put in an awkward position, and thanks to your city manager, actually, he kept me from making it probably more awkward because I had already contacted an attorney and all sorts of horrible stuff. But anyway, here's what happened. I moved into the Swan Road place a little over a year ago, and when I moved in, I contacted the electric company, the water company, all that sort of stuff, like you're supposed to do. And when I talked to the water company, I was told that the account was still open in someone else's name, that they would get back to me, and I assumed that it would transfer to the renter, the property owner. I'm renting the house, I don't own it. I assumed that it would be like it was back home, where it would transfer into the property owner's name, and then they'd send me something in the mail or something. Nothing ever happened. A year went by. I assumed that the property owner was paying my water bill. He wasn't. I wasn't paying my water bill. I never got a water bill. I never received a bill. I never received a notice that they were going to turn it off. Just one day somebody showed up and turned my water off. And I went out there, and I actually helped the guy find the meter because I didn't know where it was either. It was covered up. I actually helped him find the meter. Then he turned my water off. And I went down the next day, paid the deposit, got the water turned back on, but they hit me with a $1,700 bill, something like that, and told me that it was my responsibility and that they had been told by the city commissioners, I don't know which one of y'all, that they should get the sheriff involved. And I said, look, I don't know what you're insinuating here, but I didn't try to steal anybody's water. All I did was move in. Thankfully, the city manager has worked with me, and I've got a payment plan where I'm paying it, but I still have not received, even after I've asked for it several times, given them a letter saying I wanted to see the commission if they couldn't give it to me. I still have not received an itemized bill. I've got a $40,000
Sorry, so is that, I will get to that to the billing department, the utility billing department. And did you get the gentleman's name?
I did not get your last name.
John Weatherby.
And what's your address, sir?
Would you maybe mention
his
that to
address.
utility billing tomorrow, and she'll mention it to utility billing and see if they can get that taken care of.
Address, sir?
116 Swan.
116.
Do you, if you would like to, before you leave today, I'll get an email address from you.
Yes.
We should be able to get a history sent to you, but I'll grab an email
I can show
address.
you what they've given me.
Well, but I mean, no, they'll get something to you,
Mayor,
okay?
I have a question. Did you ever open a water account?
No, I never opened a water account.
So the day you moved in, you never opened a water account?
Never. I called
He
him,
thought it was under the landlord's
talked to him
name.
on the phone.
He thought it was under
Yeah,
the
so it
landlord.
was under the,
He thought it was under the landlord, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
I assumed that when I called them, they told me that it was still an open account and they couldn't transfer it over. That's what I was told. And I assumed that it would go into the landlord's name, that there was some sort of dispute that y'all were having with somebody else. I found out now that there are 12 other accounts just like this one. So, I'm kind of curious. 12 others.
Well, I'm curious too, and I would hope that city manager's listening, that, that comes in front of us next commission meeting as to how all of this happened.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
As much as we audit our accounts, and as the emphasis that we put on our utility, and I'm not bringing utility for it, I'm just saying is that if the water wasn't being paid for a year, then obviously somebody is not informing this commission.
Will you
that,
make sure that's on the agenda for next time?
we have water bills that are not being paid for 1 year. The water should have been turned off the first month. So I have a lot of questions of our city manager
She's got to make sure it's on the
as
next
to how
agenda.
this happened.
Yeah, and whether it's on our little chart or not, that you guys usually give to
Right.
us every 30 days.
Probably not. They probably left it off on purpose.
Okay, anybody else? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name's John Herb. I live at 125 Long Lane, and I want to apologize for interrupting your business back here. I have your hearing aids, and it's very hard to hear up there. Maybe you could turn the volume up just a bit more. I don't know. But I had two instances I'd like to take care of, or bring to your attention. I recently helped my neighbor fill her swimming pool. When we went up to the people or the office for the water, we asked them about filling the swimming pool. Filled out, bring the paper to us, then we'll adjust it. They say, take the readings before you start and when you're done. Bring the paper back into them, they said, oh no, we don't go by that no more. We don't, so how is a person supposed to know if I go out there and look at my water meter and I read those 6, 7 numbers off when I start, I go back 2 hours later, I read those numbers again, how am I supposed to know how much water I used? They could not tell me. I gave them the numbers before and after, and they could not tell me how much water I could use. And that's the people that's in the office that collect my money each month to pay my water bill. The other question I have is, well, not a question, it's a complaint, it's a gripe. I brought this up to the code enforcement several years. I've come before this commission, not you gentlemen, ladies, that on Bertha Avenue, between Cherry Street and Lois Lane, on the east side of Bertha Avenue, it's on the back of Casey Lane, there is a wooden privacy fence with all kinds of grown underbrush, trees, and everything else. The county had just finished this past week of putting new sidewalks in there. Well, I told by the county that up there where all the bush and the trees are at, that belongs to the city. The city tells me that belongs to the county. Well, if you want to beautify Callaway, because it's a main street, for 2 years, the Callaway code enforcement has not done a thing about it. I asked about it, and they said, well, file a complaint. I filed a complaint, nothing's happening. So here we are, you got all this growth running right down in Bertha, Main Street, nobody's doing nothing about it. I thank you for your time, and maybe yes, sir.
Can I get your name again?
John Erb, last name E-R-B.
E-R-B, and your address?
125 Long Lane.
Lowen?
Yes, L-A-U-R-E-N.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, anybody else? Ms. Langston?
Teresa Langston, 6031 Lower Street. I just want to clarify for the citizen, even though I'm speaking to you guys, I'm clarifying for him, that whoever told him about the commission wanting the sheriff's department to get involved, I believe that is if they disconnect the water and then he goes out there and tampers with it and starts stealing it. I'm sure that the commission didn't mean that there was some type of mistake like this going on, not to call the sheriff's department on a citizen. So I just wanted to clarify that for him. So he knew that you guys weren't gonna, you know.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It is when somebody tampers with the meter and steals water. Mr. Carnahan?
Jeff Carnahan, 7752 Shadow Bay Drive. I think it was Monday, no, it was Thursday or Friday of last week. Panama City elected to buy a fire blanket for their fire truck so they could put out the electric vehicles. Do we have one in our fire truck?
Probably not. It's not been discussed.
Electrical vehicles are a very hazard even to the firefighters that fight them. And I think we should look into the cost of one, and possibly purchasing one.
We'd have to have more than one, we'd have to have one for each vehicle. If you don't know,
Considering Panama City just bought one.
yeah, I know as many fire trucks as they have,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't think when they're dispatched from 911 that's a decision, you know, that.
But I think I would like the commission to at least look into the cost of it and everything else.
Okay.
And see about the safety of
Good idea.
the public, because batteries are a very dangerous thing, especially when they catch on fire.
Yeah, they usually just let them burn out.
Well, that's it, that was my opening.
Yes, or whoever, oh, Miss Castrato, I could just see an arm. I couldn't tell the gender of the arm.
Karen Custer, 216 Lanny Road Drive. I just wanted to make a comment that the couple who asked if there's anything they can do because they had a problem with their realtor, I just retired as a real estate broker, and what we're trained is file a written complaint with the Florida Real Estate Commission. They're the ones that deal with complaints when a realtor violates, what their duties are. And the second thing you can do, if you had any monetary damage, is file with the title company that you use to close your title, because they guaranteed that your title is clear and that, the documents that went with it, they guarantee that that's true.
Okay.
So you have two means of recourse. One is with the title company, and one is with FREC, the Florida Real Estate Commission.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
you.
Did you get that? Okay. Yes, sir?
William Troop, 11733 Poston Avenue. And this is more of a question. First, I'd like to compliment the city of Callaway for the exquisite road repair they're doing. Instead of just paving over, they're replacing it with the original brick, and it really looks good, and they're doing a phenomenal job. There is a holdup, though, at the Primrose and Poston Road intersection, which one side has been blocked off. And again, it's been blocked off for about a week or so. I don't know the exact dates, but it's been blocked off for a while, causing vehicles to go into the oncoming lane. And again, more of a question is, do we have a date when the contractor's going to come back and fix that? It's a pretty big hole, and it may require more than just the brick people.
Do you know anything about that, Mr. Fry?
That is the project that GCUC is working on. They found some deteriorated, rotted, collapsed piping. We are in the process of getting a change order so we can get it all taken care of while they got it tore up. So if I had to guess, we're looking at another 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else? I don't want to miss anyone. I'm not seeing anybody. So, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.